Good morning, everybody who's joined our webinar this morning. This is a webinar to introduce our customers and our colleagues to Cynergy Educate, one of the new services from Blue Cube Security. This morning on the webinar, we have Gemma Townsend, who is our product champion within Blue Cube Security. I'm hoping Phil Gaskell, one of our senior consultants who has a strong focus on training, has joined as well. We have Nick Squire and Stephen Burke from the software development team at Cyber Risk Aware. And at the end of this webinar, we'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you have with respect to the Cynergy Educate product. We have, over the last 6 months, moved into quite an interesting landscape as far as cybersecurity is concerned. We've had an enormous shift to remote working within our business communities. We've seen from that increased stress on our business systems and, in many cases, an increased risk. The hacking community seems to be as busy as everybody else. Something that is really quite interesting is that within this, I don't want to necessarily use the word, but within this sense of panic, a lot of our customers and a lot of people in the industry have rapidly purchased systems, and a lot of these have been quite poorly installed, and we're now in that situation of trying to catch up and get things working properly. There has been, of course, as you all know, the inability to rely on defined physical infrastructures. And of course, we've had to optimize everything with a sense of urgency to keep our businesses operating but as secure as possible. And so just to close slide 2, I'll bring up all of those points. But probably the most important point is that today we are seeing that more than 80% of all cybersecurity incidents that we experience have a significant human factor. Those human factors are split across really 3 actors today. And please excuse me whilst I turn over my script. There we go. So please ignore the rustling of papers. There are 3 actors today that we really see as far as the inside community is concerned. We've got the rogue employee, the person who thinks he can get away with things, possibly even the initiator of an attack, or trying to find credentials to undertake one at a later date. They're the malicious insider. We also call them perhaps the criminal actor. Many businesses have had these problems where people will credential hunt whilst they're employed and then try and use those credentials later on. The second actor, for want of a better word, is the accidental insider. They didn't know that their actions could compromise company security. They last read the security policy when they joined the company 3 years ago. And the last lot of training that they got was perhaps 18 months ago, and they didn't really think it was that important. And we'll come back to that later on. There's also, as far as the accidental insider is concerned, the convenience seeker. The person who uses the same password for every single login that he needs. They've probably incremented those passwords by 1 number. 1955 starting the year they were born, and then 1956 and 1957, and again we probably all have done this ourselves at some point. They're also the person who's got the spreadsheet with all their passwords recorded, and of course the spreadsheet isn't secure either. They might also be the person who bought the password book from Amazon last week because they can't remember anything. And trust me, if you go onto Amazon, you will find out that they do sell password books. And then we've got, of course, the compromised insider, the person whose details have been stolen, their credentials have been used, or they're a malware victim. They clicked on that really special offer that they thought was fantastic, and it was a special offer. or they opened the email that they thought was from the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, and it wasn't. Or as happened recently when we did some tests within our own company, the BBC breaking news item wasn't anything real, but it was a great phishing exercise, trust me. And of course, once these compromised insiders get impersonated, well, you know, the hacker gets into your network with just one set of credentials and surfs the network and finds more. And of course, we've all heard it. Well, the email looked like it came from the financial director, and I just do what I'm told. And I did transfer that £100,000 to someone else. So there's something to worth thinking about the actors. Just to sort of go slightly off piste, many, many years ago, we used to see within the airline industry, the captain's word was, you know, it was absolutely there was no one questioned the captain. Today, my brother-in-law tells me this because he is a pilot with British Airways. First officers are actually taught to question and confirm when they feel something isn't right. Now, this is the mindset that we have to get people in with regard to cybersecurity. Question it. Is it right? Am I doing the right thing? And if you feel uncomfortable, well, do something about it. Stop for a start off. Stop what you're doing. You know, let's talk about some of these common staff behaviors, and they all come with inherent risks. Clicking on links that look okay. As I've said already, reusing passwords that cross multiple accounts. Departmental passwords shared and stored using Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. Trust me, accounting departments tend to be the worst. They keep all their banking passwords and all of their portal passwords on one piece of paper, and then they share it across the whole of the accounting team. Sorry guys, but you probably know it gets done. Downloading free software. I did it myself just yesterday, and I had to stop and check. I wanted a Microsoft project viewer. Was I downloading it from the right place? Was it a Microsoft approved Microsoft project viewer? And it's those sort of questions that I had to ask myself, and those are the practices that we want to get your staff into. Am I doing the right thing? Of course, we then get into the classic unsafe web browsing, general little or no understanding of the company's security policies. And then, of course, the risks when people work outside of the office, when they log into the coffee shop and you know, basically are working away from home without checking things. So these are just some of the points. And of course, all these points will come up on this presentation. And if anybody wants this PowerPoint afterwards, please don't hesitate to ask. We'll be more than happy to share it with you. Let's just move on and talk about where we are, or where we think we are today, and where things are going. Yesterday, or perhaps even today, in your current company, you're doing online courses. You've got multiple choice tests. Once a year, and maybe with the COVID-19 pandemic, it was 18 months ago, you did do some extra training. A lot of this has always been, it says here, a chore rather than a necessity, but it's been a situation where I've got to go and do that training before I can get on with my day job. And we've had to think out of the box as far as Cynergy Educate and with Cyber Risk Aware to basically change the mindset. We've got to bring things into the real world of today. We've got to challenge the norms, and we've got to put things into a position, and your staff into a position where they protect your business, and we help you develop a human firewall. We're moving away from the tick the box mentality that we've seen in many places before, and we're moving forward to recognize that the individuals who work for your company are the target of today's hacker. And we've got to promote the concept of a human firewall. And we like this tagline, they're always on and they're always alert. And that's where I go back to everything you do on a computer. Am I doing the right thing? Am I putting the company at risk? Is there anything I could do better? And should I check myself? So let's talk about the Cynergy Educate product components. There are, of course, a number of components, and this is just a very brief overview of Cynergy Educate. But the first point is that we have real-time intervention awareness. What does that mean? Well, we test people. We make sure that when a campaign from the system goes out, we help them understand either what they've done right or what they're doing wrong. And from that, we can build a picture of the individual who works for our company. We have the knowledge assessments that we ask them to basically check their knowledge of cybersecurity. And from those knowledge assessments, we can determine what training those individuals need. Of course, all of this is done with some very realistic smishing and phishing test campaigns. And trust me, as I said to you earlier, they are very, very realistic. And I can tell you that even within our cybersecurity company, people have had to pick up the phone and say, have you seen this? Is it real? And that's how good they are. That people who deal in cybersecurity on a daily basis look at these campaigns and question their validity. We can put onto the system the security videos so that people can actually go back and review what's been going on. And of course, we can put all the company policies onto the system as well and make them referenceable. All of this helps us identify the risk behaviors of individual employees and then deliver training to them individually that can basically move them forward as far as their cybersecurity knowledge is concerned. So let's just move on a little bit. So what can we do with Cynergy Educate? Well, first thing we can, as I've already said, we can create very realistic phishing and smishing campaigns planned around your company's business, your budget, and your commitment to training. And we'll come onto the product components a little bit later. We can allow you to utilize a massive library of templates. Some of these have been very successful in fooling well-trained staff, as I've already said. And so they'll be very useful in the future. We can record what the users do when they receive the campaign. And that, again, helps you understand their cyber security knowledge. Most important thing we can do is see if they are actually entering usernames and passwords. Are they actually interacting with the campaign? And if they do, we can report this to you. You can then help them understand why they shouldn't have done it. Importantly, though, we don't record those usernames and passwords. We can track by company, department, individual working groups, and basically help you determine where training's needed, design campaigns for different teams, and always enhance the training that people are receiving. You know, for instance, if the shipping team always open the Top Gear news campaign, well, perhaps we'll do a few more like that and base their training around those type of things. We can, of course, identify repeat offenders. They do exist. There are people who don't want to learn. There are people who forget. And of course, once you know that you have these individuals within your business, you can control their access to systems, making you more secure. We can realistically recreate the way a hacker tries to compromise your staff. And as I've said, we do knowledge assessments. We produce interactive training sessions to help them improve their knowledge. Importantly, we train in bite-sized chunks. So we move away from that onerous, I've got to do the training before I can get on with my day job situation. And of course, depending on what package you pick, we can also help you with pre-training, refresher training, and generally improve your team's cybersecurity knowledge. So again, there's some of the things that I've already spoken about. The one thing I didn't mention is that we work across multiple devices. Let's just quickly give you a little bit of background. On March the 6th, the Engineering and Technology magazine published an article, and they stated that a number of Android devices were vulnerable to hacking attacks. The number is mind-blowing. There are 2.5 billion Android devices in use worldwide today, and they reckon that 2 in 5 of those devices still in use no longer receive vital security updates, which puts more than 1 billion Android devices at risk. And today, of course, many businesses have a bring your own device policy to work. So again, making sure that staff awareness across all devices is absolutely critical today. So let's go on. What are the outcomes? You're spending money. What do you get? If you buy hardware, you see lots of little flashing lights. It works, it's doing something. If you buy software like antivirus systems, you get regular updates. So what do you get with Cynergy Educate? Well, first thing you get is staff empowerment. You're making them your security asset. You create a network of human sensors, people who, when they open something on screen, are checking for anomalies. You get, I believe, and I think we've proved, a significant risk reduction associated with accidental insider activity, the inadvertent actors. You get an investment that pays back on a daily basis. We have seen a massive increase in the threats to business today, and your staff therefore need to understand cybersecurity at a deeper level. And basically, you then, with that understanding, the risk of them becoming a compromised insider is reduced. It's actually a high-value, low-cost approach to cybersecurity. Firewalls, endpoint security, all of these cost a lot of money. The budget for training in the past has been very, very small. By a small increase in that budget, you can significantly improve your cybersecurity. And the other thing you get out of it is you get measurement. You understand what's going on within your business. You can see where your risks are. You can improve the individuals who are causing or have the most problem with cybersecurity. So those are the outcomes that you get. So basically, Cynergy Educate, you're delivering the right message to the right user at the right time, and you're recreating that human firewall. It's always on and it's always alert. So let's talk about the product that we are putting to the market today. There are 3 options. The essential product, it's the base product where you can design your own campaign, run your own cybersecurity training, and put it to your staff. It's the lowest cost option. It is the one that, to a degree, worries me the most, because Pareto's law applies to every single thing we do in business. 80% of it gets installed properly and 20% gets forgotten. And we see this on a daily basis with cybersecurity products that we've seen installed by third parties or by companies themselves, where they get most of the job done, but the I's aren't dotted and the T's aren't crossed. We thoroughly recommend that you consider option 2 or option 3. Option 2 is a managed service. We help you determine what's right for you, that works within your budget, within the time you have, for the size of your team, and for the risks you face. It starts off with an initial content workshop that is free of charge. We help you understand what you should be doing. From that point onwards, we then include design workshops, configuration workshops, campaign designs, simulations, training plans for your staff. The classic thing is to make sure that when staff are subjected to a campaign internally, you don't have that cross-fertilization of, oh, don't open that email, it's a campaign. You want to mix your staff, so possibly splitting your staff by the first letter of their surname, that type of thing, rather than departmental segregation of training. And of course, you then get your service reviews and your report development. Option 3 of the product is our Premier product, which is everything in option 2. Plus, you get customized face-to-face training sessions to start the project off, and also put refresher training in at appropriate times. We limit this to 15 people in each session whilst we're working virtually, and it's already proving to be quite a popular model. So the question that you'll be asking yourselves now is, what's right for you? Well, as I've said to you already, it's determined by a number of factors, but every company is different. Talk to us, we'll help you understand what you need to do. You might consider a cybersecurity posture review. Where are we today as far as cybersecurity is concerned? What are we doing that is right? What should we be doing? What are we missing? And again, we will do the initial posture review with you free of charge. Pick the right option, and finally, the most important thing, play the long game. The companies that put their security training at the beginning of an employee life cycle and never do it again are the ones who are significantly at risk. Moving on, who should I talk to? Well, here's the 3 people that I mentioned earlier. There's Gemma Townsend, she's our product champion. She will be the person you will probably initially talk to. She will help you understand where you should be going with the product, what you should be doing, and how you should be doing it. Phil Gaskell is one, and I use the word one, of our trainers. We have more than one, but he is the man who would help your team with the initial face-to-face training, and of course the refresher training. And then commercially, your account manager. And if you don't have an account manager, then Irvin Shillingford is the man to talk to. Cynergy Educate, this is the last one slide. Cynergy Educate is one of the services that Blue Cube Security provide. As you can see, there are a number of others. There's our perimeter and endpoint services. There's our Safe Scan service, vulnerability management. There's our Educate service, which we've just been talking about. Governance, manage, detect, respond. We try to provide a full suite of services, particularly built around cybersecurity.